best teams in Europe playing right now, and it looks like the defense is ready to go. So we do have Reunited starting out on defense. We have Valitagia on Soldier 76, Winghaven on the Scientist, Winston, Mort on Mercy, KOAB on Reaper, Unfixed on the Pharah, and Cruz back on that Lucio.
I've been a little bit naughty. I've just shown the stream secrets on how to still go out beyond the limits of the map and check out the boats on the outskirts. So anyone who was paying attention in chat, you know now. Now you can see Reunited hanging back a fair bit, of course. The first point more or less being given up right now, just because they want that room to maneuver. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Artia, who's being relatively aggressive on young Genji at the moment. And he's rather in the face of Reunited, looking to see if he can get a pick off very early on.
Yeah, they're just trading a little bit of damage back and forth, trying to get a little bit of an edge, and also just scanning out where the enemy team is positioned. Sometimes you see Hanzo get picked up just for that specific reason where the Sonic Arrow is, but here comes a full engagement. They just jump on the backline. Creation going deep right now. They do have that Diva, of course, that helps them do it, but Winghaven takes out Drakea, so no mercy for the offense right now. That's going to be absolutely huge. That means no resurrection as Unfixed scoops up Bromas. Mort actually takes Artia down, so Mercy taking out the Genji in a reversal of fates, and this is looking good for Reunited as they do hold up this first point in style. Only losing Mort eventually there to Numlocked, but that's a Winston. He's going to get a kill at some point before he goes down, just with the nature of that reliable damage he deals.
I think the overall assessment of that fight was overwhelmingly positive in favor of Reunited, but for some interesting reasons as well. If you take a look at the ultimate charges, Reunited is actually comfortably ahead. Dracaeus and Mort both have Resurrects available, sure, but if you look at the rest of the team, Reunited are more or less on the cusp of having 3 or 4 ultimates available, and it's still quite some ways away here for their opposition. So Creation need to pull something out of the bag, and starting with that was a pretty nice direct rocket hit from Bromas.
Yeah, that was really needed. Valitagia popped the sights. He had everyone in his sights, and then a rocket just sailed in and killed everyone. But meanwhile, KOB just cleans up. Creation are going hard here. What the plan seems to be is to throw Diva and throw Winston right onto Mort and try and get rid of that Mercy as soon as possible so that Resurrect can't really take part in the battle. But it's just not happening. Mort's just too good at evading. He's too good at running away. People are giving him an out by just standing near the doorway on that lower ground so he can just run away. And this is looking so solid right now for Reunited. They do have the barrage ready to go. Death Blossom is also going to be up and running in a second. Numlock goes in once more, trying to chase down Valitagia in the back, but oh my god, Bromas actually picks up 2 kills on the front line as well. There's just brawling absolutely everywhere. I don't sympathize with you on the camera right now as you're trying to find everything, but Unfixed drops a double kill, takes out Dracaeus and Toxic, both supports now stripped away, and this should be a nice easy cleanup for Reunited.
Yep, I'm just about managing on camera duty, slowly getting to where all of the action lies, zooming out where necessary. Winghaven coming back in, he almost gets Lynx, almost gets Artia, who does eventually go down. But unfortunately gets picked off himself, and once again we have Creation Esports pushed back, but they made good inroads there. They were threatening to take point number 2, a couple more pushes like that, and a small slip up from Reunited, and they will be able to capture it. They've still got over 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, they have a couple of ultimates in the bag as well. High Noon is ready to be called, and Lynx is going to be ready as well with that Death Blossom very soon. They also, of course, have the Bro Shield on Toxicin, so that's going to be absolutely messing this next fight. But Reunited do force the issue, actually. Winghaven goes in deep. There goes Artia on the High Noon. Doesn't actually manage to find any targets. Unfixed is still in the sky, though, trying to land the damage. There's attack barrage as well coming out from Valitagia. So sights have been called. He's raining damage down, and this is stalling up the push even more. Unfixed is still just getting so much free damage. No one is stopping Unfixed, and he's just going completely off right now, just landing rocket after rocket. They got to deal with him, or he's just going to take over this map like he did on the first one.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of deja vu almost. Unfixed doing a fantastic job holding up for his team. Generally speaking, as the Soldier 76 on the team, you kind of want to be hanging around on the top ledge here, or even poking up from behind there, or even behind the forklift if you happen to be on the ground floor. But your goal is to do as much damage from distance as possible. You don't need to expose yourself. You need to let your teammates do the work and basically say, if you do nothing about me and jump in, like Winston, for example, I'm going to get so much damage done over the course of a full team fight that we're going to win every time. That is basically what his position is right now.
Unfixed opens up and takes out Bromas. KOB is also chasing in the back. He has a Death Blossom ready. It looks like Creation again going around trying to take control of the high ground, but they have to be so careful not to clump. Winston jumping in, getting so much cleave damage as well. KOB also takes out Dracaeus in the back. That's a huge loss. This offensive will be stalled out. I imagine they're just going to try and retreat, get out alive, and not blow any ultimates, because if they do, then Mort's just going to be ready to resurrect them. And Mort actually hasn't even needed his resurrect for a while. He's just not been required to use it. Lynx actually does take out Winghaven, so that's a good result for them at least, but they're still getting caught out in a kind of an iffy position right now as the fight does start to scatter. Bromas actually finding a kill. Numlocked also finding a kill, but there's the resurrect coming out. And KYB, can he find the Death Blossom? He does have it ready. He's just going to sneak his way out, though. Lynx actually managed to find a couple of kills. Bromas drops the barrage. Oh my lord, that's actually speed boost. The Death Blossom going through, takes out 2 people. There we go. KYB finding what he needs. There's the Resurrect, however. Can they pick something off the back of this?
Valutaja with Tactical Visor, but he's actually getting gunned down himself, and now we have a good offensive from Creation. It looks like they will be able to take the second point. It's going to be a little bit too far. Oh, nice direct rocket hit from Bromas there, but it's going to be a little bit too far for United to come back and defense. And Creation do manage to make it, and they reset the timer to roughly 2 minutes and 58 seconds. But that was a little bit anxious from them there. They don't want Reunited holding them again after what happened on map number 1. They want to show us what they're made of here, and of course, every second counts from this point onwards, because if Reunited are able to capture it faster, it's going to be ever so slightly awkward for these guys. They're going to have to hold for a very long time.
Yeah, and this transition right here is so important. As the offensive team, you want to maintain a little bit of offensive tempo. You've got to sort of take control of the high ground. If you let the defensive team set up, it can be so difficult to displace them. RTF fires off the high noon. Lynx also drops in with a Death Blossom. Doesn't find anything with it, though. That's a lot of value lost. And Winghaven actually takes him out. So the Scientist getting the better of Lynx there. Bromas still on the high ground. Valutaji actually swapping the Tracer as well. Gets numb-locked on the back. And this is actually looking kind of bad right now for Creation. They are losing pace quickly. Dracaeus goes down. There's the Mercy. So they're not going to be able to bring anything back as Bromas is trying to get rid of Mort. But Mort fires off the Resurrect in good time, and this should be Reunited stabilizing on the hangar phase.
Exactly. Now, this is a reasonably good rule of thumb for anyone who happens to be observing Overwatch. When Valutaja switches to Tracer, you listen. So watching that, he took out 3 or 4 players, actually, not quite on the trot, but basically in unanswered damage. And that's because everyone was looking out in the skies. They were going, where's Bromas? Hang on a second. Where's Lynx? Is Artio there with the high noon? Do I have to worry about him? And in the meantime, it's just non-stop damage coming out of Tracer.
KYB. Oh god, Trace actually finds Dracaeus as well, so Mercy is already down. That's bad news bears right now for Creation Esports. They've got to be so careful. As Valutaja finds a second target in Bromas as well. This Tracer is just going unanswered. They have Artia on McCree. Like, Artia's McCree is literally one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, though I'm sure Valutaja himself would have something to say about that. But you'd expect Artia to be the one trying to lock it down. Oh, Seb, numlocked, does drop an Earth Shadow, but doesn't really find any much value with it. He finds Unfixed, but that's just not going to be enough. There's just nothing to follow that up with. You've dropped an ultimate, but you've killed one person who's going to respawn and get back in good time. There's just no fighting off the back of it. So now, really good positioning right now for Reunited. 1 minute left on the clock. They have ultimate advantage, I would say, right now as well. KYB's looking for kills, and Cruz is ready with that bro shield.
Yeah, we might actually get a full hold here in the shuttle, which would be rather impressive. We'll see if we're able to do that. I'm taking a look at Bromas right now. He's looking for ways in as far, but unable to even get into the room, let alone anything else. And we now have a more or less a desperation move moving on in, but off the low ground there, so not exactly the best in terms of positioning. KYB is boosted at the moment. He's looking for a potential opportunity to use Death Blossom. He does now, more or less right on top of the point, but gets absolutely no kills and whiffs it. Bromas now revived with ultimate available.
Yeah, Unfix is coming up and over, trying to find what damage he can. There's the defensive res. Lynxer is there with a Death Blossom. Doesn't manage to find the results he wants with it, however, so will just be sort of battered away there. Winghaven buying a little bit more time, and this is looking good for Reunited. They're fighting 6 versus 3 right now, basically. There's just a couple of people left on Creation. Cruz finishes off Lynxer there, does get the cleanup shot as Unfix comes up and over, dropping rocket after rocket, takes down R-Tier. Can he find even more kills? Dracaeus is actually out in the open. KOB and Unfix hunting him down. He finally goes to Winghaven, just scooping up that kill there with that reliable damage. Numlock now trying to stall for as long as he guerrillally possibly can. Because he's not humanly possible, right?
No,
he's a gorilla. You've got to respect that, right?
Gorilly or gorillally?
Gorillally.
I like it. All right. And we do have the full hold in the shuttle room, ladies and gentlemen. So 40, and I believe the tie break is going to be distance, right?
It's distance, yep. So they just have to push further than Creation did. And honestly, Reunited looked like they could do it there. Look like they can do it pretty damn well. You can see like the golden square, the shining golden square out in the middle of the hangar. If you could just zoom there as quickly as you possibly can. It's absolutely beautiful. That's all they have to push to. It's literally right under the nose of the shuttle. There are some interesting things in those fights that I want to point out as well. Some really good positioning using the Lucio, for example. So you see like death. You saw this actually happen twice in those fights. Like KWB would drop a Death Blossom, but Toxicum was there on the Lucio. He switches to speed boost. Everyone just pulls away from it nice and safely. And then you also saw Lynxer basically do the same thing. Fires off a Death Blossom, but Lucio's just standing there, plays some funky tunes, and everyone just gets the hell out of dodge. Doesn't take any damage, and it just blows the ultimate wasted, unfortunately. Doesn't get any value off the back of that. But meanwhile, it looks like Reunited have decided on a fairly aggressive strategy, it looks like. So the KYB running the Genji. I saw KYB's Genji earlier today, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to be excited to see what happens with that.
Yep, Reunited are looking to try and get this done in a push or two, basically. They want to be ultra aggressive. They have Genji, they have and they have Reaper out very, very early on. Velutaja on Soldier is always a joy to watch from the back lines. He isn't necessarily going to get 6 kills on the trot or anything like that, but he will be successfully doing so much damage on a very consistent basis. So, as far as Creation are concerned on defense, Toxicon is going for an early Tracer, which is quite interesting. And we have Bromas on Junkrat, which is always a joy to watch, but rather than go for the McCree, Artia has gone on Roadhog to complement Lumlocked on Reinhardt. So we've got the double tank composition with Tracer coming out here from Creation.
Yeah, that Tracer absolutely fascinates me. It's very rare you'd see a defensive Tracer being run on this map. She's just not good at navigating up and down to the high ground, for example, and especially when the enemy team usually runs a Winston. Winston's just going to have a whale of a time just getting a lot of easy damage in there. We do see the Junkrat spam coming up and over, and actually Mort might get picked up here by Lynx. Does go down, does eat a grenade, actually just caught it, unfortunately. So down goes Mort, so won't have a res for this next fight, but not too big a deal. He will respawn, probably just by the time this payload actually moves to that first checkpoint, so not really a big issue right there. It looks like where you tabbed out, says Kib in chat. Oh boy. The BM.
Ouch.
The BM.
Well, the mind games have begun. It's actually quite a good pickoff, not because you don't get a res immediately in the first fight, but just because you're not actually charging your ultimate for just that much longer. Kib, though, he's moving on in. Oh, he gets taken out by Lynx, but he actually got a couple of kills right there. Unfixed moving in with Reaper, takes out Numlock. There is the there's the revive coming out from Dracaeus there. And you can see Mort's currently on 53%. Dracaeus already used his revive. So that is the difference in ultimate charge from that early pickoff.
But meanwhile, Unfixed has just had a whale of a time. He's had all these big meaty targets to rain damage into with those Hellfire shotguns. Just found so much hurt. And even with that Resurrect, they just got swept up twice. There was just no good answer to deal with Unfixed. And now they have pretty much every ultimate they could ever want. And Valataja and Winghaven are going to be ready to go in a moment. Kib goes out with the Dragon Blade, has found people in a tiny little room. Doesn't actually get killed by the hook either. He's trying to find people. Oh, no, gets taken out by Lynx that just slapped in the face of that Hellfire shotgun. But Winghaven actually comes in and cleans up on the back with that Gorilla as Reunited trying to take charge of the map. They just have to get to the golden square, remember. That's the objective here.
Primal Rage now being engaged from Winghaven, trying to bat everybody off of the path of the payload so that it actually pushes far
10
enough.
meters.
It's not very far to go now, and it looks like GG's are being called. Oh, hang on a second. Toxicon had other ideas there, but it's not going to be enough. And the payload does reach its destination, so that is the GG on map number 2. Reunited are going to go 2-0 up in this best of 7, and I have to say, that was pretty quick.
That was really quick. Reunited have just been looking on point at the moment. They've just been outplaying pretty much every single aspect of what they've been doing. Unfixed has been having a whale of a time. KOB looked okay. He looked really good earlier. Hasn't quite shined as much, but I think that's just because Unfixed is stealing the show, to be honest. Unfixed has been getting kill after kill after kill after kill. There we go. Player of the game goes to a Mercy, of course. Just gets a good resurrect off. Unfortunately, that happens a little bit too often for my taste. Might happen a little less on the next patch, but...
Are you not a support main, then?
I might become one with Anna, though. Like, ooh,
yeah?
I do like that support sniper. I really like Anna.
I love Lucio.
She's super fun.
Lucio and Soldier. It's like I don't know, it's just a good, solid base to work from. I enjoy playing Lucio, because when you have a good game, you know that everyone likes you.
Yeah, absolutely.